Salutations, streamers in Dreamland. Welcome to the latest edition of Listen to Me. Listen to Me, Volume 45. And guess what? We are on the heels of an incredible heavyweight title fight last night between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Look, today is Sunday morning, and I had some time to reflect. I actually watched the fight twice, and I was really impressed with both fighters. And I want to say, first and foremost, congratulations to Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. He did an incredible job, and he stopped Wilder in the 11th round. It was something special, something, spectacular. But listen, congratulations are in order for Deontay Wilder as well. I take my hat off to him. I give both gentlemen a round of applause. Listen, I got to be honest, Deontay Wilder impressed me last night more than he ever did before in his boxing career. He showed a lot of heart. He showed a lot of balls. He showed a lot of moxie. He showed a lot last night, more than he ever has inside the boxing ring before, in victory or defeat. Now, be that as it may, Tyson Fury, incredible performance in his victory. Nearly got stopped himself, had to pick himself up off the canvas, was down twice in the fight, in one round, as a matter of fact, and he barely got up in that second knockdown in that round. So, incredible fight, a classic fight, something that really is special, something that we'll probably never see the likes of again, meaning that I don't think we're going to see a fourth fight between these two gentlemen. Tyson Fury left nothing in doubt. The first fight, as we all know, was very, controversial. It was a draw. A lot of people felt Tyson Fury won the second fight back in February 2020. Obviously, Tyson Fury stopped Deontay Wilder. He put the pressure on and he stopped him. Now, this fight, Deontay Wilder was a lot better prepared. He really was. And believe me, even though he did get stopped ultimately and knocked out, he really did get knocked out, this was his best performance of his entire career. He went out there, he had some purpose, and Tyson Fury, as we all know, he is a masterful boxer. A masterful boxer. And Deontay Wilder put his right hand all over him, bounced him off the canvas, and he won more rounds than just that. I mean, really, this was Deontay Wilder's best performance, and I hate to say it, but I felt a little bad for Wilder. I mean, truly, I felt a little bad for him because he left it all out there, and honestly, I hope we see him again. I think if he was in the ring with any other active heavyweight in the world outside of Tyson Fury, I think last night's performance would have been good enough to beat just about anyone. I mean, maybe Dillian White. I have an opinion that Dillian White has a style that would, give Wilder some trouble. But be that as it may, Wilder's performance last night, I don't want to take anything away from it. I think that, that performance was truly remarkable and worthy of some praise. But, really, an even better performance by Tyson Fury, knocking out, stopping Wilder. Wilder came out in the first round, and the first right hand he hit Fury with, he rocked him. Fury felt it. And Fury proceeded to weather the storm, the early, somewhat light storm, but it was still something to go through. Fury went through that, and he put on a masterclass, and, he picked himself up off the canvas. I think it was the fourth or fifth round where he picked himself up off the canvas after getting bounced, once and then twice with some big right hands from Wilder. But, Fury did what he had to do. So, be that as it may, a lot of things have changed in the heavyweight division. A couple weeks ago, Alexander Usyk, he defeated Anthony Joshua for the unified heavyweight championship of the world. So, the heavyweight landscape has changed a whole lot. There were 4 heavyweight fights last night on the main portion of the card for the pay-per-view, the Fury fight, Fury and Wilder. There was Helenius and Adam Kalinowski. There was Frankie Sanchez and Efe Ajagba, and Jared Anderson was on display against an opponent whose name, honestly, I forgive me, I don't fully remember his name. However, Jared Anderson was more than impressive. He stopped his opponent as he was expected, but the other, 2 fights were fairly good fights themselves. Congratulations to Robert Helenius. He was, effective, more effective even than he was the last time. He won every single round of that fight against Adam Kalinowski. And ultimately, the referee deemed it a disqualification because Adam Kalinowski kept punching Robert Helenius in the dick, in the balls. He was hitting him low consistently, and more than once. It was similar to what Andrew Galata did with Riddick Bowe, to where he would hit like a combination, a two-punch combination on the other guy's groin region, on the cup area, which is illegal. And, I think that the corner previous to the disqualification was considering stopping the fight. The doctor was in the corner. The referee was looking. Kalinowski was completely ineffective against Robert Helenius, and the Nordic Nightmare was powerful, and his right hand was on display. And listen, I think that Robert Helenius is right outside the top 10 of heavyweights, maybe at number 11. 11, 12 region right now, but he proved last night that he's got what it takes to make some noise. Another fight, again, that prediction from my prediction video, I got right. I got right the Fury prediction. I predicted that Fury would win by knockout late. I believe I said the 10th round. It was the 11th. However, I did predict it was a knockout late, and Fury got the knockout late. I did predict Helenius would stop Kalinowski again, later than he did the last time. I don't think I nailed the round down exactly. However, Helenius ultimately did win by disqualification, but he stopped the guy. So those two, that's 2 for 2 there. F.A. Ajagba, Frankie Sanchez, I got that one wrong. Frankie Sanchez won by decision. F.A. Ajagba was completely ineffective. I mean, he was throwing 1s and 2s, and that was it. He would mix up maybe upstairs, downstairs, but I didn't see a whole hell of a lot of 3-4s. I didn't see him hooking off. I didn't see a lot of uppercuts. I didn't see a lot of effective body work. All I saw was a lot of straight punches from distance that really didn't do a whole hell of a lot to Frankie Sanchez. So congratulations to the Cuban Flash. He looked the part in beating up F.A. Ajagba last night, and I have him right outside the top 10. But being that we've had all these changes in the heavyweight division over the past few weeks, I have changes in the heavyweight top 10. The landscape in the heavyweight division since my last top 10 video, which was probably, 3 months ago, maybe somewhere in that region. But the heavyweight landscape has changed, and it's changed a great deal. So we're going to go over that right now. We're going to start at the top. Number 1. The number 1 heavyweight in the world is the victor from last night. None other than the Gypsy King himself, the WBC Ring Magazine lineal heavyweight champion of the world, the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury. Now, Tyson Fury, his track record speaks for itself. Congratulations again for beating Wilder last night. Number 2 in the world today, Alexander Usyk. He is the unified WBO, IBF, WBA, IBO world champion. He beat Anthony Joshua, and he's he's right underneath Tyson Fury. Alexander Usyk is right there. Number 3, this is where it can get a little tricky. Number 3, in my opinion, right now, Dillian Whyte. Above Anthony Joshua, above Deontay Wilder, and I'll tell you why. His last 5 fights. Yes, he did get stopped by Povetkin, but he avenged that loss in the next fight, stopping Povetkin. And previous to that, Dillian Whyte was impressive against Oscar Rivas, and impressive in the fight against Wach. Not super impressive, but the fight against Wach, he took it kind of on short notice. In his past 5 fights, Dillian Whyte's performances have been great. In his past 10 fights, they've been even better than that. I mean, the guy's beaten everyone in the heavyweight division, from Lucas Brown to Robert Helenius to Derek Chisora to Alexander Povetkin. I mean, Dillian Whyte is, he's beaten Joseph Parker. You name someone that's graced the top 10 in the past 5 years, Dillian Whyte's been in the ring with them and probably beat them. With exception to Anthony Joshua, he's defeated every single man he's ever been in the ring with. And he lost to Anthony Joshua kind of early on in his career when they were both domestic guys. And Anthony Joshua moved immediately on from that fight and beat Charles Martin. I feel personally if Dillian Whyte had won the fight against Anthony Joshua and went on to face Charles Martin, he would have beat him too. So, feelings aside, right now today, Dillian Whyte's number 3. In my opinion, that's the way it works. His resume speaks for itself. He is the number 1 contender for the WBC, and he's been the number 1 contender for a very long time. He's the WBC interim champion, and he's mandated a title shot. So we may see Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury next. I look forward to seeing that. Moving on, number 4. Heavyweight in the world, Anthony Joshua. That's right, his resume speaks for itself. And let's be honest, Deontay Wilder, he may have has an argument for being number 4 after his great performance last night, but he's coming off of back-to-back losses. He lost back-to-back fights to the same guy, Tyson Fury, back-to-back stoppage losses. Got stopped by the referee and knocked out. Knocked out. His corner threw in the towel 2 fights ago against Fury, and last night against Fury, he got knocked out. So I can't put him against Anthony Joshua. Yeah, Anthony Joshua lost to Usyk, but he went the distance. It was a fairly close fight. I had it 7 rounds to 5 for Usyk. I did. Maybe 8 rounds to 4. But Anthony Joshua's number 4. Look, he's defeated every single man he's ever been in the ring with. Everybody knows what happened in the Garden when he got knocked out by Andy Ruiz Jr. But what did he do in the rematch? He beat the ever-loving piss out of Andy Ruiz Jr., controlled the ring, controlled the distance, and won the fight off his jab and made a shit ton of money, something in the nature of $70 million in the process. So Anthony Joshua, yes, he did lose to Usyk, but he is going to have a rematch. He did announce yesterday that he will definitely exercise. He officially announced he will definitely exercise his immediate rematch clause. So there will be an immediate rematch, and Anthony Joshua will look to gain his titles back from Alexander Usyk. I don't know if he can do it, but right now, today as it stands, heavyweight division, Anthony Joshua's number 4 now. Number 5, Deontay Wilder. Look, Deontay Wilder has defeated every single man he's ever been in the ring with, and he's knocked out every single man he's ever been in the ring with exception to Tyson Fury. Some people say he knocked him out in the first fight and Tyson Fury woke up before 9, but that's bullshit. At the end of the day, if you really want to knock someone out, they got to be out for 10 seconds. At least. Stunning someone, putting their lights out, them losing confidence. It's not really the same thing as getting a knockout victory or knocking them out. Again, the first time Wilder fought Stavern, he beat him by decision. In the rematch, he folded him like a towel in an incredible, epic knockout that I will remember for the rest of my life. He folded that guy in a way that I haven't seen many human bodies fold. The guy went down like an accordion. His knees were one way, his elbows were another. It looked like he was doing a dance. I don't know what the hell happened to Bermane Stavern. But Wilder hit him pretty hard and, scrambled his brain and folded the guy like a towel. And that was impressive. So, with exception to Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, can pretty much beat and has beaten everyone he's ever faced. And, look, if I'm being honest, and it's a one-on-one fight and it happens tomorrow, and my money's on the line, I'd probably bet on Deontay Wilder to beat Anthony Joshua. I probably would. Being, that Anthony Joshua has somewhat of a suspect chin, and Deontay Wilder's performance is, although he got knocked out, he showed a lot of moxie and a lot of heart. So, if my money was on the line, I'd probably bet on Wilder at this point, if he were to square off against Joshua. And with exception to Usyk, Dillian White, and Tyson Fury, I'd probably bet on Wilder to beat any other heavyweight. Joseph Parker included, anyone else included. And moving on from Deontay Wilder, number 5, we have number 6, Joe Joyce. Now, Joseph Joyce is undefeated. He is, I believe he's due a WBO title shot at some point in the future. I believe that's the path that he has. But that's not going to happen for quite some time. We know that Alexander Usyk is the WBO champion right now. He has an immediate rematch with Anthony Joshua. And Joe Joyce's, mandatory status, I believe that he's not going to be able to exercise that for quite some time. It's not going to be until after the Usyk and Joshua rematch, and that's not going to happen until at least, I'd say February, March of 2022. That's next year. So, Joe Joyce, he sits at number 6 right now, in my opinion. He's undefeated. He beat Daniel Dubois. He's beaten he beat Carlos Takam last time he was out there. He knocked him out. He's beaten every man he's ever been in the ring with. Joseph Joyce has a hell of a jab. Joseph Joyce actually was an Olympic silver medalist, and actually recently there's some kind of litigation where there was some kind of corruption, and he may be awarded the Olympic gold medal, and it may be taken away from Tony Yoka, who was given the decision in a very controversial fight in those Olympic Games. I do remember that fight. I do remember believing, in my opinion, I believe that Joe Joyce should have been the winner, and I believed he won. But, You know, it was a close fight, and I don't know what kind of litigation, but Joe Joyce did recently tweet about that. Regardless, I have him at number 6, and I just talked about him. I have this guy at number 7, Joe Parker. I call him Slow Joe Parker. I mean, Joe Joyce is not fast either. He's kind of slow motion Joe, but he hits kind of hard. Joe Parker, look, as of late, I haven't seen Joe Parker show anything in the ring that shows me killer instinct. All right? Joe Parker was the WBO champion. He got a hometown, home cooking decision against Andy Ruiz to win the vacant WBO title. All right? He lost the unification with Anthony Joshua. He lost. He went the distance. He had some success, limited success in that fight, but he lost. I didn't see him winning more than 3 rounds of that fight. Maybe 4. Maybe. But regardless, Joe Parker, you know, other than Anthony Joshua, he lost to Dillian White. And Dillian White bounced him off the canvas twice. Joe Parker did in turn knock down Dillian White one time, but Joe Parker lost to Dillian White. And he lost to Anthony Joshua, and he hasn't really looked impressive in his recent victories. In his most recent victory against Derek Chisora, I felt he lost that fight. Many people felt he lost that fight. I feel that that was a fucking robbery. No, not just a close decision, not just, a home, no, because the home fighter was Derek Chisora. So that was weird that Joe Parker kind of got a home cooking decision, a hometown decision in Derek Chisora's hometown. It was very bizarre, but needless to say, in Joe Parker's last few fights, he has not looked impressive. I don't feel that he beat Derek Chisora the last time out there. However, he is a former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, and he has beat some top 10 fighters at some points in his career. So he is at number 7. Now, at number 8, I have Tony Yoka. Tony Yoka is undefeated. He has limited fights. I think he has something like 11 fights. But just about everyone Tony Yoka's ever fought has got a winning record. And he's beaten some guys that, you know, are legit. He beat Christian Hammer recently. In his last fight, he knocked his opponent out. Got him out of there. And it was fairly impressive, the knockout. Now, yes, Tony Yoka was levels better than his opponent. And I believe that's the guy that Tony Yoka was supposed to beat. No disrespect to his opponent that night, but Tony Yoka looked pretty good getting that guy out of there. And Tony Yoka's definitely sitting in at number 8. Now, at number 9, I have Filip Hrgovic. Now, Filip, he's undefeated as well, and I believe he has something like, I think he has something like 11 or 12 fights himself. And he had some success as an amateur in the Olympics, I believe a bronze medalist. And, you know, Filip Hrgovic, he is looking for an IBF mandatory. He is, I think, ranked number 2 by the IBF, or number 4. And he's looking to get a mandatory. Charles Martin don't want no part of him. I believe they offered the fight to Michael Hunter. And I thought Michael Hunter and him were going to fight. Michael Hunter has subsequently signed with Triller, who, Triller is a promotional entity for boxing, in my opinion, has failed. And Michael Hunter has failed himself. I was very optimistic. I tried to give Michael Hunter some credit. I made some effort and attempts to give Michael Hunter some credit and Triller some credit for the Michael Hunter versus Michael Wilson fight that recently happened on Triller. But that was a horrible fight, in all honesty. And really, I gave credit where there was no credit due, because Michael Wilson really is not at all a heavyweight, not at all world class. And Michael Hunter, you know, he knocked him out in impressive fashion, but he very well should have. And Michael Hunter really, truly should have been fighting someone better. Probably should have been fighting Filip Hrgovic. And now, the reason I'm mentioning Michael Hunter was because in my previous top 10 video, I had Michael Hunter and Filip Hrgovic back-to-back, I believe, in spots number 8 and 9, because they were about to fight. And Michael Hunter, going into that fight as a heavyweight, had some impressive victories. Martin Bakole, to name one, a guy who was undefeated, a guy who's still a top 15 heavyweight in just about every sanctioning body, just about everywhere you look. Martin Bakole is still a guy who's very good, and, you know, Michael Hunter beat the shit out of that guy. Plain and simple, he beat the shit out of that guy. So Michael Hunter has looked the part as a heavyweight, but, you know, being with Triller and fighting in quite pedestrian level, you know, fights or against quite pedestrian level opponents, that's not going to serve you in the heavyweight top 10. So he's been eliminated. Filip Hrgovic is in at number 9. And in at number 10, although he did lose his last fight, Derek Chisora. Listen, Derek Chisora is a top 10 heavyweight. Win, lose, or draw, if you look at his resume for his entire career, nobody Nobody in the heavyweight division has a better resume than Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora has been in the ring with everyone. Everyone at heavyweight, from Vitaly Klitschko to Joe Parker to Alexander Usyk to Dillian White to Kubrat Pulev. Derek Chisora has been in the ring with them all. Ajit Kabayel. Anyone and everyone who's been in and around the heavyweight top 10 for the last decade and more, Derek Chisora has been in the ring with them. And if he hasn't fought them, he's likely sparred them. Derek Chisora is number 10. Because at the end of the day, Ajit Kabayel, he may have beaten Derek Chisora, something like 4 years ago in a majority decision. Close fight. Derek Chisora has reinvented himself, and Ajit Kabayel, he has really not faced much world-level competition. And I can't say that I've ever really been impressed watching Ajit Kabayel fight. I've been impressed watching Derek Chisora fight. And Derek Chisora, he fought Tyson Fury twice. And in the first Tyson Fury fight, that was a very close fight. A very close fight. And, needless to say, his last two fights, he did lose to Usyk and Joseph Parker. He lost to Usyk in a closer fight than most people will admit. I had Derek Chisora winning about 5 rounds of that fight. 4 or 5 rounds of that fight. The Joseph Parker fight, I had Derek Chisora winning 8 rounds. Maybe 9. I didn't see Joseph Parker do a fucking thing to beat Derek Chisora in the last time out. Needless to say, it goes down in the record books as Joseph Parker is the victor. But, I've got to be honest, I have Derek Chisora in at number 10 because I don't think that outside the top 10, anyone beats Derek Chisora. Sorry. I think, honestly, Charles Martin's the guy I consider to have in the top 10. I don't think he beats Derek Chisora today. Robert Helenius, I considered him for the top 10 position at number 10. I'm not sure if he beats Derek Chisora today. In his resume, he doesn't have as many notable victories or notable opponents. And Derek Chisora has challenged for a world title. Robert Helenius has never challenged for a world title, which is interesting if and of itself. It's also interesting that Dillian White, although he is the WBC interim champion, he's never challenged for a real world title. As great a fighter as he is. So these are some interesting trinkets, but again, I want to congratulate Tyson Fury on the heels of his victory last night. And this is the current heavyweight top 10 from yours truly, everyone's favorite boxing shaman, The Dream. Until we meet again, my friends, it's been a pleasure. Mine, yours, and everyone involved. Take care. See you again.